Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is really true, is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 32 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 32 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smartass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. We've all had the roughest few years of our lives all over the world, not just here. And unfortunately, too many people didn't make it, and a lot through addiction, even family and friends of mine. So I want everyone out there to know someone is listening. I'm a recovery coach. I'm also a nutritional health coach. Please, please reach out. You don't have to go through this alone, okay? And if you think my book can help someone, you can go to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and you can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. You could order it from there. You could also subscribe to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. And guys, if you truly, truly, truly can't afford my book, please reach out to me about that as well. So guys, you know, I always bring it, and I'm definitely bringing it tonight, okay? So I have an incredible, incredible little superstar with us, okay? So, without further ado, let me introduce Tammy Locke. Say hello to everyone. Ruben, we can't hear her. Hold on. A little glitch. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tammy Locke, former child star, former roller derby queen, former radio show host, just like Geri, and former country singing headliner, and I am an inventor as well.
All right, so listen, we've got to really talk about all this. So, okay, start with the inventing part. Start with that.
Well, I used to work for a humongous aerospace corporation for about 15 years.
Okay.
And while I was there, they gave me some tools to do some things. And I said, "You want me to use all these tools?" And they said, "Yes, to create something." And I said, "Okay." So I did for about 3 months. And in their corporation, they had these boxes called suggestion boxes. And you write up your blueprint or whatever it is, your suggestion, and you put it in a box. And then it goes to a committee and they vote on it. If it passes, they award you a fee to purchase your idea from you. Now, this was years ago. This is like back in the 80s. And they purchased mine and they made it, and it's all over the world. And what I did was I turned 3 things into one, and it made it more streamlined, much faster to build and everything.
What exactly is it?
It was a test panel for an F-18 fighter jet wing.
Wait. You invented something for a fighter jet plane wing?
If you go to to my book, which is on Amazon, called "I Can Do Anything," the whole story is in there, plus the picture of what I drew and what they built, masses of.
All right. So, all right. Kudos to you. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, pretty cool. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't expect anything
and
like
even,
that.
Back in the 80s, a lot of people don't know this, but this is also a little tiny story that's in my book. But back in the 80s, for the same company, I invented what was known as the Scream Room. And those things are all over the world now in a lot of corporations, and I'm the originator for the invention of it. So people can, like, say, for instance, male people, they can go into this room that's soundproof. They can cry, they can scream, they can pound on the wall, they can lay down and hit their hands or their feet on the floor and just have an absolute fit. Once you release all of that, you feel a heck of a lot better, and you can go back to work, and that's what it was for.
Okay, so then I have a question. People really did it?
Oh, yes.
Did you ever
But
do it?
they thought that my idea was not warranted, so they declined it. Then, like 25 years later, I was watching these documentaries on television, and I see that they're all over the world now. So somebody just leaked out the info on it,
Yeah.
and then just decided to patent it and put it all over
Wow,
corporations.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
So,
but it's okay. It's all right.
okay, we're going to get to your acting last. Tell me the other accolades you have.
Well, I was a radio show host for
Okay.
93.9 KFOX.
When was that?
That was back in the 80s. And I interviewed all the up and coming country artists, and it was blast. I had an absolute blast. I've got some of the shows, not all of them, but I've got some of the shows on my TammyLocke.com. So just find the
Okay.
little tag or tab, and you can listen to a couple of shows. Of course, I grew up with scripts, and nobody provided a script for me. So in the beginning, on a couple of them, you can really tell that I'm new at being a radio show host and creating my own questions for my guests. So, but as time flew by and I did more, then I got used to it and fell into it. So it was fun.
All right. Now singing.
Oh, the singing started. Now, this is in the book as well. When I was about 12 or 13, I used to go to school, get all of my homework, come home and do all my homework on Monday and turn it in for the whole week. And then I would spend Tuesday through Sunday singing in front of my stereo system where I got all of my albums out. And I started with Barbara Streisand because I wanted to know how she was delivering her songs, what she felt, see if I could create the same effect when people hear it. Then I went to Patsy Cline. Then I went to Diana Ross, doing the same thing, of course. And then I finaled with Barbara Mandrell. And so then I created my voice, and you could go to my website and you can hear little areas where I've got singing and stuff like that. Plus on my Facebook Live, I do a lot of a cappella where people will tell me a song to sing. And if I knew it, I'll sing it. If I don't, I'll learn it for a future post or something like that.
All right,
But
so
I toured with the family of the famous Tex Williams. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette.
Okay, so we're going to pretend I'm following you on Facebook at this moment, and I tell you I'd like a song. So I would like you to sing a song for us, a cappella. And do you sing any Elvis?
Love me, tender, love me sweet. Never let me go. I don't know all the words. I have to have the words.
All right, so what song, that was beautiful. What song do you like singing a cappella that you know all the words to that you could give us a treat here?
Oh, my goodness. You should have prepared me for this one.
Well,
I just need words.
I didn't know. All right, I'll tell you what. While we're talking, maybe on your phone you could look up words, and you can sing something for us because we would love that.
All right.
All right, so now did you say dancing as well?
No, I was a professional roller derby
Roller
skater.
derby. Okay, tell us about that while you're looking for words, girl.
Yeah, I skated for the Detroit Devils. I was number 22. We fought against the LA T-Birds, Thunderbirds, Los Angeles T-Birds. My coach was the famous John Hall and Ralphie Valadares of the LA T-Birds. And it was a fantastic time. I enjoyed it. That was 78 through uh, 80, I believe it was. 78, 79, 80. I think that's what it was, 78 through 80.
Roller derby. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so
Don't mind me looking down. You've got me looking up
I,
lyrics.
that's okay. I want you looking down and looking up lyrics. That's okay. So anything else other than your acting that we will get to?
Well, let's see. Then I had one. Let's see. Okay, so we've done the movies, the radio show host, and roller derby, and we've done
Inventions.
the singing, and then I was sitting down back in, I think it was like 2011, something like that. It's in the book what date it was exactly. And I don't know if everybody knows who Shirley Partridge of the Partridge Family was and is, Shirley Jones. And we were sitting back in her room toting down some martinis, and I told her a little bit more about my life because her husband adopted my son basically at age 7. My son's 26 now, but Marty adopted Rob, and so they took Rob everywhere and introduced him as their grandson to everybody. And so she was just asking me more about me, and she says, "Tammy, you have to write a book." Oh my God. She said, "This is crazy." I said, "But Shirley, I can't tell everything that I did. Everybody does things that are not appropriate or bad or whatever it is, in your young life. And to be quite honest, I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm not ashamed about it. Yes, I did it. Oh, well, can't. My daddy always used to say, can't cry over spilt milk. All you have to do is just get yourself up and keep moving forward. And so I did. I wrote, everything that happened. So a lot of great stuff. This is on Amazon right now. It's called I Can Do Anything, because my father always taught us that can't got stuck in the mud and it's still there. Choose another way. So if can't is not an equation that's allowed in your home, then the only other alternative for an equation is I can. And so I've done everything and more that I've ever wanted to do. So can't got stuck. Of course, I always thought that my daddy was always telling me cat. So I always tried to keep that daggum cat out of the mud. But I mean, it's got everything of my life. There's a lot of really cool stuff in here. So far, I've been getting probably a 99.5% awesome reviews. I mean, there's some, rapes, molestations, beatings, and then a lot of really great stuff and things that I did. I mean, it's pretty much, a book about my whole life. So, and I will be coming out with another one. So we haven't started it yet, but I've got so much more to tell.
So obviously you're an open book then.
Basically, yes.
So can I ask you a couple questions then?
As long as we don't give it up as far as what's in the book, because I want people to get it. I want people to, if they read about something, I don't want them to already know about it, about how it happened and stuff, because then it will take away the effect of what they're going to feel when they read it.
No. So what I want to ask you is this: you said, and I don't know if you were just saying it as, you said he adopted my son. Did you just mean like he pretended to adopt him as like his own and would take him places?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't give up your son?
I did not.
Okay, no, I got a little confused with that, and I was like, 7...
Yeah, yes. My father and my mother had already passed and everything. My father was sick, and so Marty and Shirley stepped in as kind of like a grandparent's figure in my son's life, and just loved him.
That's beautiful. Okay, I feel better now. Thank you for clarifying that. All right. How old is Shirley now?
Oh my gosh, she's in the late 70s probably. I'm not sure.
Are you still close with her?
I don't really look those things up.
Okay, are you still close with her?
Only a pair of numbers. I'm so sorry. What?
Are you still close with her?
Well, we haven't been for years. Okay. We used to do a lot of autograph shows together. It's just that our lives seem to go different paths. I was working for the past 4 years, I've been writing this.
Okay.
So that's as long as I've been away from
Okay.
Shirley. I didn't have any time.
Okay.
I was constantly, just trying to write and get the book out and stuff.
Okay.
And I
So-
had quite a few companies that I paid, and they took me so far, and now it's finally published. It's on Amazon, and hopefully people will buy it and they'll read about it, and then they'll review it. And I say, be honest, whether it's bad or good, be honest with your reviews. My daddy always said that you've got to learn from everything, so I will learn in what they say, what they review it as.
Let's talk now a little bit about your childhood acting. Come on.
Yeah.
Tell us everything you've done.
Well, I started in the business at age 18 months. That was my very first gig. And how I got that was my sister Cheryl, which is 5 years older than myself, went for an audition, and there was no one to watch me. And so my mother had to take me with her. And we went into the big guy's office. I don't remember what his name is, but he was a very high up individual in the film business. And they were doing the voice of Charlie Pont, which was part of the Alcoa Presents Hour. So it's the voice of Charlie Pont is the segment that I was on. But what happened was my mother asked the secretary to watch me, and she says, yes, no problem, Mrs. Locke, I'll watch her. And I'm only 18 months, so my sister and my mother went into the room, which is right there adjacent.
Okay.
And then I had to go to the bathroom, so the secretary walked off to go get some coffee and left the 18-month-old sitting right there on the couch. And so I knew where my mom and my sister were, so I just opened up the door, and it hit somebody inside the room. And I walked in and I said, Mommy potty, Mommy potty. And they looked at me, and they looked at my sister, and then they looked at me and my sister, and they looked at my mother, and they said, Mrs. Locke, we would like her, not her. And that's how I started. And I was, my father was Robert Redford, and my mother was Diana Hyland. How good does it get?
Wait, what are you talking about?
The voice of Charlie Pont. I landed the role.
Gotcha. So wait a minute, I have a question real quick. Okay, so when they said to your mom, we want her, not her, how did your sister feel?
She didn't, because they wanted her to portray a little bit younger of a child, and she was, well, if I was 18 months, she had to be all of what, 6, 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't want to. She was a big girl. Kids, they want to think that they're a big girl, not a little girl.
So she was kind of
And
happy.
So it was perfect. She was happy. She's
That's
like, have it.
amazing.
And my sister was in Cheryl. She ended up being in Father Goose with Cary Grant and Leslie Caron. And she was in I Saw What You Did and I Know Who You Are with John Ireland and I can't remember the other lady. Hold on, I got to sit. But anyways, she was in a lot of things. Cheryl Locke, Sharryl. And it was Joan Crawford is who she was, who she started.
Oh my gosh.
With. Yeah. And then she was in One Man's Way with Don Murray and Diana Hyland as well. And then she did something with Butch Patrick. And that was the One Man's Way. So Cheryl was in the movie business too. And then we had an older sister, Lorna. She did a couple of plays and things like that. She never really wanted to get into the movie business or TV business. She did try out for Peter Pan, I think, one time, and she was to play Wendy, I believe it was. And she landed it, but she wasn't really into that. Right at that point in time, my father was actually sending my sister Lorna to pilot's class. So she was taking airplane lessons. So she got very lucky to do things like that.
That is so cool. So, all right. So tell us more about what you've been in.
In reference to, Once a Thief with Anne Margaret. She was my mother. and Alain Delon, one of the most gorgeous Italian French men ever in this world. That was my father, and Jack Palance was in it. And just then I was in Meet Me in St. Louis. It was a TV pilot, so if you go to Walmart or Target or something like that, and you find the actual famous movie Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland and Margaret O'Brien, it says a two disc special edition. That's the one I'm in. So Judy's on the left on the disc, and I'm on the right, where it's the TV pilot with Celeste Holm and Wesley Addy and Morgan Brittany and Shelley Fabre, and just a lot of great stars in it.
That is so cool. So, okay, what else?
Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Well, the Monroes, I landed the
That's right.
Monroes. Yeah, so I starred as Amy in Amy Monroe. Let's see. So I have some DVDs. Now there were 5 cast members of the Monroes, Michael Anderson Jr. Matter of fact, what people don't know is Barbara Hershey. The Monroes was her launching pad to her success and to her long lived acting career. But I've got DVDs here, and if you contact me on Tammy at TammyLocke.com, I've got 3 cast members out of 5, so you're only missing 2. And Barbara Hershey does autograph signings, so you could take this and go get her to sign it as well. But there's only 1 that's completely signed, and that's mine. But this one's 3. And I've got some with all 3 signed, and then I've got some regular ones. But The Monroes is the TV series, and it was a 66, 67 TV series. It was number 1 in its slot. And then, of course, all of your 1960s TV series like The Big Valley and things like that. Sometimes it doesn't stay in first place all the time.
Right.
So, somebody else took that
What
place.
year? What years was that? The Monroe.
66, 67.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we filmed it in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And a lot of people don't know this, but Jackson Hole, Wyoming is on the map because the Monroes put all the townspeople to work. So they all got to work for the Monroes in one form or another. And that's how they became a big, huge city. And then other shows filmed there following us as well. So that was pretty cool. But how I landed the role of Amy Monroe is my mother was called by the executive of the TV. I'm not allowed to mention any of those things. But anyways, the studio, she was called by the studio and said, could you please bring Tammy down? We want to audition her for this TV series. And so when we got there, I ran right past my mother and I ran into his office and I jumped up on his big, huge executive desk and chair. And I threw my feet up on the top of the desk, got on the phone, and I pretended that I was making $1 million, decisions. And they walk in there and he goes, well, if she's got huevos to do other words than that.
Yeah.
She just landed the role of Amy Monroe. No audition needed, So that was how I got the start on the Monroes. So that was pretty cool.
So now, okay, you said like you can't mention their names now. I mean, this was a long time ago. Why
Not
is that?
names, studios. I can't mention studios.
Why
right
is
now
that? I'm
because
just curious.
There's a strike going on right now.
Okay. Okay. So I was just curious. Okay. So, all right. So now, all right, couple silly questions for you.
Yeah.
So, who have you met, okay, that impacted your life in the acting business? And who have you never met that you wish you could have?
Okay, who have I met that impacted my life? Well, I'll tell you what, 7 years ago, I met Kevin Costner when I was there for the viewing of Hidden Figures. And he was on stage. And when he came down off of the stage, I kind of like parted the sea of people. And I ran over to him as he came down off of the stage. And I pulled him aside really quick. And I just asked him, please, can I just have a moment of your time? And he said, yes. And I told him who I was, Tammy Locke. And I starred in a TV series called The Monroes. And he said, Tammy, he says, the Monroes, he says, that was my favorite TV series that I watched while I was growing up. And so I tried to get him because nobody's ever done a reunion. Are they going to wait until everybody dies? All 5 cast members are still alive. Everybody else has had a reunion in one form or another, whether it was a TV show, whether it was a movie that they created for it, whether it was just an appearance on a show that was filming or releasing the film, or for everybody to see the film, and then the cast members come in. Oh yeah, I remember that episode, and da 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 da. But nobody's ever had a reunion of the Monroes. Everyone is still alive.
Wow.
All 5 of us.
Wow, that's
It's
amazing.
Barbara Hershey, Michael Anderson Jr., Keith and Kevin Schultz, and myself. We're all still alive.
So why
Please
can't
don't
you
wait.
you put the word out? You try.
I've been doing it for 25 years.
Oh wow, that's sad.
Matter of fact, I was the one that was spearheading the studio to release the DVD for 25 years. Religiously. I sent thousands of emails. I called thousands of times and spoke to the person there at the studio. Please release the Monroes, because I'm getting inundated. Of course, it was MySpace at the time, and Twitter, and and different avenues that people would try to get a hold of me for somebody to release the Monroes. And then a fan out of Ohio, I think it was a gentleman, let me know that a company called Shout just purchased the rights and is remastering it and distributing it. And I'm like, what? Finally! And so now it's been out for 7 years. In the first 2 years, I would get photos on different apps like Facebook or whatever, of them in front of the shelf that says sold out.
That's pretty cool. Okay, that's
So
pretty cool,
almost
girl.
2 years.
That's pretty cool.
Almost 2 years. They were off the shelves. People bought them. So that
Sure.
means to me, common sense tells me a new age
Yeah,
of families are watching the Monroes,
That's
which
pretty
is
cool.
so cool. There's 26 episodes. And today, 26 episodes would be 3 seasons. But back then, it's only 1.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now, what's happening
I'm very
today?
blessed.
What's going on? What are you doing?
Well, I'm getting ready to do an autograph show somewhere in Placentia somewhere. Don't know too much about it yet, but I'm going to do that. And I've already hooked up another couple of autograph shows. I'm going to be doing one in the 3rd week of May of next year called the Happy Trails Virginia Style. That's going to be in Salem, Virginia. If you watch my Facebook or whatever, if you email me at tammy@tammylocke.com, you can keep up on my appearances and things like that. But I've already talked to another autograph show, so he's going to have his in March, so I'll be there. And I'm just I'm trying to, either find a regular job because I love to work. I mean, I started, seeing what work was like when I was very young, probably 5. I remember going to Northrop when I was 5 years old with my father. And that's who he worked for at the time. So I've just been a workaholic all of my life. And COVID really was a showstopper, I'll tell you. So it stopped a lot of things. We're just now getting back around
I
and
know.
trying to get out there and do things.
I know.
So. But during the entire time, I was, not only looking for a job, but I was also writing my book. And now it was just released a couple of months ago. So that's what I've been doing.
Okay. So this is so cool. So, Tammy, I want to read a poem out of my book for you.
Yes.
And there's a reason why.
I just sent you a very blessed, kind of like a Christian statement to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where?
You're going to love it.
Do you want me to read it?
That would be great.
Where did you send it?
Your Facebook.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to read this, okay?
Yeah. You're going to love it.
All right, let's see. It see what we got here. Go on. Did you post it on my wall?
I did not. I put it in your direct message.
Oh, messenger. Okay, hold on.
Yep. Yep. You're going to love it.
Here we go. Okay. Day 12. I declare I am special and extraordinary. I am not average. I have been custom made. I am one of a kind. Of all the things God created, what He is the most proud of is me. I am His masterpiece, His most
Amen.
prized possession. I will keep my head held high, knowing I am a child of the Most High God, made in His very image. This is my declaration. That is
Amen.
absolutely beautiful. And your puppies, I have photos here of your puppies and your kitten and your cat.
Yes.
That
You
is
asked about my dog that
beautiful.
barked, and I'm like,
That
okay, I'll
is
show you what
beautiful. Okay. All
How do
right.
you like the cat?
Beautiful.
Check out that cat.
So I want to say something to you about day 12 here, what you just sent
Yep.
me. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I say a lot of times to people, especially in the entertainment business, what do you think about you as a singer? What do you think about you as an actor? What do you think about you as an author? And they all kind of like, well, and I say to them, listen to me. You need to start looking in the mirror and saying, I'm great. And that's not boasting. God made you, okay? He created you to do what you're doing. And if you could look at someone else and say, wow, they sing incredible. Wow, they're a great author. Wow, she's a great actress. You should be able to look at yourself and say the same thing. So
I
that
totally
was
agree.
beautiful, and I'm going to print that out, and thank you.
You're welcome.
That is beautiful.
It's called, this is what I say, I can do anything.
Anything. Well, you're going to love this poem. You're going to love this poem
What
because
you just said, what do you say about being an actor, by being a singer? It's because the Lord granted me the choice of I can do anything.
That's right.
There's no such thing as can't.
That's right.
But you have to choose what you want. That's
Oh my
the
goodness.
indicator right there. You have to choose. So if you've chosen something, a path, and it's not really, panning out to be what you wanted it to, you have the option of choosing another way and becoming a winner. So nobody is ever a failure. Nobody ever fails if you're allowed to choose another way. You're allowed to diss that whatever you chose, and originally, and you're allowed to move on to something else. That way you become who you want to be. And that's what I choose.
When you hear my poem, you're not going to believe. It's called Utilizing Gifts and Talents, and I wrote this.
Oh my God.
Okay, yes. It's everything you
I'm
just
ready.
said. It's everything you
No
just
way.
said.
It's similar, right?
I wrote this, guys, and I want everybody to listen to the words because you all have something to offer. Every single one of us was born with a talent. You just got to figure
Yes,
out what
we
it
are.
is. Here we go.
Just got to find out.
We are born with talents, we are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. So don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, Your name, Tammy Locke, will live forever, baby, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure
Amen.
people smile with the breaking dawn. And girl, that's what you're doing. Okay, you're making
Thank
people
you.
smile.
Are you ready for the song?
Yes, let's go, baby. She's going to give us an a cappella song, guys.
Well, it's almost a cappella.
All right, come on. Whatever.
You got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You've got to laugh a little, ha ha ha, and cry a little until the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love.
So listen, let me
Yeah.
tell you. Let me tell you
What?
something. Okay, your voice is adorable.
Aw.
Okay, everything about you is adorable.
Ah,
Okay, everything. Wow. Thank you for singing that.
you're welcome. I wish I would have started when it started because the words in the very beginning are beautiful.
So, can you do that, or you don't have the
Yeah, you mean rewind it? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, real quick.
Yes, do that.
Let me see. You've got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love.
Tammy, that's beautiful. You have a beautiful voice, man. Wow.
You.
Beautiful.
But that's what you have to do. You have to, give a little and take a little, and you have to spread love and joy, and you have one thing that you're born with here on this God green earth from God, and that's the choice. Whatever God you're looking at, or whatever God you have, everybody is born with a choice to either be good or bad. And that's basically what it comes down to. You have a choice. And I'd rather do great things and good things for people. And, my father always taught us to give is not to receive. And so that's the whole thing I was raised on all of our lives. And that's what I've been doing. And if there's one little part in my book that shares a blessing upon to people, and that was back in my 20s, I guess it was. I was seeing another documentary basically, and it was focusing on people finding money that they didn't know about. Well, people when they're born, sometimes their mom and dad creates an account or whatever it is, and sometimes it's lost, whatever the reasoning, and then that money gets sent to a certain bank basically, and then over the years it just builds up in interest by being in there, and a lot of people don't know that. And so I was giving to people. I would find money for people, and then I would track them down, and I'd find them, and I found millions. I found 278,000 for Reverend Oral Roberts. I think it was that much, 278. It was in the hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
And I found it, and I sent him all the paperwork, and he got it. You always know when somebody claims it because it takes it off of the website about 3 weeks later, and it's the state treasury, and every single every single state has a Treasury Department, and it has a money that people don't know. It's an inquiry area, and you can find money, and all you do is just look for your grandfather, your grandmother, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your whoever, and make somebody happy.
Yeah.
Bring a blessing into their lives.
Yes.
God gives us tenfolds back. So that's what I've been doing. I found multi-millions, I guess it was, for a family, and I didn't know who they were. I was just looking it up, and I noticed just page after page after page, a man and woman's name listed on their website. And so I just started looking around and, Googling them. It turns out they were passed on. And then I located their daughter, and I called her up, and I didn't tell her who I was. I do it anonymously. Of course, back then they had star 69, which basically calls you back.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
That's right. Things were different. That's beautiful that you did
But
that.
I told her about it, and I told her how to find the website. I said, I just want to, what is it called? You pay it forward.
Yes.
And that's what I do a lot of. Whether it is doing something, as a request from someone and not charging them, and getting it done for them, or I worked for a guy doing all of his posters for his show for years, and I didn't ask for anything in return. And I love to pay it forward, and that's what I do.
So, Tammy, I have a question for you. We have a few minutes left, and I just wanted to ask this. You mentioned some things in your book about abuse and all that, and we're not going to get into it. But you did have some abuse in your life then, obviously.
A lot.
Okay.
All my life.
All your life.
Until I was age 30. I had a major abuse up until age 30. Yeah.
Okay. And that's in your book.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the reason why I wanted to just bring that out is I want everybody listening, okay? And even my book will teach you to know your worth regardless, okay?
Oh, I know my worth.
There you go. And I know
I'm a
mine.
child of the highest God.
There you go. There you go, girl. And, guys, listen. I don't want to sit here and say, your pain wasn't painful. And I don't want, none of that. That's not what we're doing. But what we're doing is saying that in spite of, and I'm not talking about little children who are little children now. I'm not talking about children being hurt now. I'm talking about as an adult, your past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay? You can overcome that. And,
absolutely.
give it to God. He hasn't
Amen.
left you. He hasn't left you. Okay?
That's right. Yep.
So now.
One thing you have to remember is it's not our fault.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
That's right.
It's not our fault that it happened to us.
That's right.
So we can't take it to heart.
That's right.
You have to figure out how you relieve or purge the pain that's inside of you.
That's
you
right.
have to purge it out of your body. If you do not do that, you will never be normal again for the most part.
There you go.
You have to purge it. You have to get it out some way. For me, I just tell about it.
There you go.
And I release it every single time. It's not a problem for me. It doesn't hurt me in the least.
You know what? I'm feeling.
Because I can do anything.
I'm feeling compelled.
Can purge and release the pain that it caused me. Because it was really horrible. Horrible.
I feel compelled. I have to read another poem. And I usually don't do that.
Absolutely.
But I absolutely have to. This poem is called Face It Till You Make It. See, you'll understand. Here we go, guys. Because you can be healed. Trust me and trust Tammy. You can be healed. God.
Yes, you can.
All right. Fake it till you make it is a term heard so much. I don't really agree. It's living with a crutch. Not just for addiction, all life lessons, my friend. That's a saddened life to live until the end. I'd rather go by a saying more real. Face it till you make it in spite of how you feel. We got to grow up, put our past behind. In spite of our hurts, there's greatness to find. I'd rather go through life smiling every day, holding up my chin, all good things to say. Positive thinking and actions likewise throw out a force up into the skies. What we project is what we will earn. Karma is real. We each have a turn. Your thoughts are wired to make you think, but what you do can make you sink. Keep all your thoughts uplifting and real. Feeding your mind crap destroys how you feel. Don't put out crap, it comes back to bite. Stand up real tall and just fight the fight. I promise you this, if you face all your fears, it might be quite scary, but will add to your years. One day you'll be happy with who you now are. Just look at me and Tammy, we've really come far. I look in the
Yes, we
mirror and like what I see, but most important, I really love me. I hope that helps someone out there. I hope that helps someone out there.
It should.
So,
It did me.
Tammy,
I'm blessed to have heard that from
this
you.
was amazing. I want to, we're coming to the close of the show. I want to first of all thank you for honoring me today with this great interview. I didn't expect it to have that turn, that twist, and I'm so happy it did. I want you to take the mic because I want you to, in case you forgot to say anything, tell them your websites, how to get in touch with you, whatever it is. I don't want you to forget. The mic is yours, sweetie.
Thank you, sweetheart. I truly appreciate and I'm honored to be on the Geri Petito show. And I do it any day of the week in the future. Anytime you want me to come
Yay.
in, just let me do it. My name is spelled right there on that banner. It's Tammy Locke. I have my own website, tammylocke.com. You can get a hold of me through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, any of those, Tammy Locke. I'm on YouTube. My email is tammy@tammylocke.com. Very easy to do. I do have books. They're more expensive, but they're on Amazon. I have paperback and hardcover. I have DVDs. I have almost a full cast sign. You only need 2 more autographs, and I have those. And I've got regular ones with nothing on it. I do those. Just go to my Facebook, and everybody's got to have an Amy bag.
That is so cool.
That's my Amy bag, and it's one of those burlap type, so this is the entire cast: Michael Anderson Jr., Barbara Hershey, Keith and Kevin Schultz, myself, and Snow. And I don't know if Geri can put up one of my dog's pictures, but I have the same dogs, my Callie and Precious. I was on the cover of 2 magazines, the Hollywood magazine. You can write Prather Jackson if you want a copy of that, or contact me at tammy@tammylocke.com. I released a 45 record back in the 80s, and I have a CD of it. There's my babies, 160 pounds of full. But I also have a CD of some songs I've done over the years, and it is truly songs I've recorded over the years. So it'll go back to like the 1980s, and then I have songs that I've just recorded. So you'll see the difference in tones, but I have all of those. And in case anybody is wondering where Day 12 came from, I listen to this man religiously. I wake up to him when I'm in the shower. He's got to be blasting in my room. I just love Pastor Osteen. And I recommend him. But
Joel Osteen, everybody.
Yep, Joel Osteen. And that's basically it. I mean,
Great.
I would enjoy for people just to email me and tell me if they've ever seen the TV series. And don't forget, the DVD's now out, and it happens to be Kevin Costner's very favorite show when he was growing up. So there you go. Thank you, Geri.
This is amazing. I want to thank you again. Everybody, please share this, okay? I had so much fun talking to you, and there's so much more to you than anyone even knows.
People don't even know. I can build an F-18 from wet to dry to fly because I know every single process in between.
This is amazing. This isn't over. We'll talk about another future interview next year. I think you're incredible. I want to thank you for honoring me today, okay? This was so beautiful. We're going to talk this weekend, okay? I'm going to call you,
Sounds great.
okay?
I would love
Because I
that.
have a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Producer, take us out. And hold your book up, too.
The hardcover is the best because it's got gorgeous photos in it. It's all color. On Amazon, I Can Do Anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is it really true? Is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.